2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later.
Wow.
All right. Hey, welcome to Hero Dad Bod here. I'm sitting here with living legend, Clark Bartram, giving us some time here in beautiful Escondido, California to talk about, fitness, life, aging, and just really, how to really be our best selves. It's a cliche that we talk about, be your best self. This guy's living it. I'm trying to live it. I want to help you guys live it. So without further ado, thanks for taking some time.
Well, thanks for coming down, brother, and welcome to my dream home, right? I've got the gym, and so we're gonna give you a tour of the gym and show you how to create your own lifestyle, whether you make a big gym or not, just really wrapping your mind around what it takes for you to age gracefully and move to the next phase of life without these beliefs that a lot of people have on what it's like to age.
Yeah. Well, and I tell you, and from my experience, I'm 49 years old, getting ready to hit that half-century mark. I can tell you this: when I was 29 years old, I had no idea that putting in the time, I would feel this good at 49 years old. So, just how old are you now, Clark?
58.
58 years old. Yeah. And how do you feel compared to when you were 28 years old?
Most people are not going to believe this answer, but I feel better because I understand more.
Yeah.
I understand the bigger picture, and that it's not like this myopic approach of just go in the gym and train and be so hyper focused on being perfect at everything. There's balance that I've learned that has allowed me to live in a, I would say, better than average body for a guy my age.
How much of that do you think is genetic versus just time under tension, or time, just discipline, consistent discipline?
Well, you got genetics and epigenetics, right? So you as an athlete have seen genetic freaks that don't do the epigenetic part. That's the lifestyle, to break it down. So you look at these guys and you're like, oh my God, if they would only. So it doesn't matter what your genetics are, it matters what your lifestyle is to support whatever genetic predisposition you've been given, because you can't change that. But you can change your lifestyle to accommodate being the best possible version of yourself regardless of your age. So genetics absolutely played a part. And I was supposed to be your height. So I'm 5'8", you're 6'3", right? My dad married my mom, this is a true story, to genetically create the world's best athlete, because she was a tall German brothers, and he said, oh my gosh, this is going to be the guy. I came out 5'8", pretty athletic, but it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. So that genetic part didn't necessarily catch on as much as the bicep at age 14.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut the interview off. The peak on this guy's bicep is out. There's a little thirst for you guys. So sorry.
But at age 14, I thought I was deformed.
Because it peaked so much.
And I will never forget the day as long as I live. Me, Tim Gillis, Scott Pizzuti, Eddie Beadle had a bull worker. And we passed it around to each other. We were doing curls to see who could get the biggest biceps. We met up on the playground at Clarendon Elementary after we each had it for a day or two, whatever amount of time it was. And we just compared biceps.
Yeah.
And they went. I was the last one, and I did my bicep. And they all laughed and pointed and made fun of me. I cried. I ran down Columbus Avenue to my house and told my mom, I think I'm deformed. She's like, why? I said, they said my bicep, was my arm muscle.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I walked into a gym in the downtown Canton YMCA, there was a man by the name of Henry McGee, big man guy, probably your size, really jacked. And he said, no, you have genetics, son.
Yeah.
You can be a world champion bodybuilder someday if you put your mind to it. And that's the epigenetic part, right? Putting your mind to it.
In the time, yeah.
I was shooting this cover right here. And the photographer, right after this shot right here, the photographer was on the phone, and me and this girl are standing there talking to each other, and the photographer's arguing with somebody. He's like, you told me you were going to do it. And so he hangs up the phone, he calls Bill Phillips. He's like, Mike backed out, he's not going to do it. And I could hear Bill Phillips say, well, is there anybody else? He's like, well, Clark's standing right here. We're shooting the cover for this issue. He's like, ask him. So he hangs up the phone. He said, will you get fat for an ad? And I was in cover shape. And I'm like, well, what's the deal? And I was between Kiana's Flex Appeal and my own TV show. So he said, you got to get fat for an ad. So I went for weeks and weeks and weeks and ate donuts and pizza. Matter of fact, he told me, go home, order pizza, sit down, and when your wife and kids ask you what you're doing, tell them you're working. And that's exactly what I did. I came home, ordered a pizza, and they never see me eating that stuff. I was eating. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working. And they're like, what are you going to do? I said, this ad right here. So we went and we shot this ad. And it was shot, unretouched photos taken over a period of less than 12 weeks. So I got fat on purpose. We shot this one first. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later.
Wow.
The day after this, I competed in the Muscle Mania contest. I drove 2 hours every week to go meet with my nutritionist at Gold's Gym Venice to see if I was ready. And I remember on this picture, I went to Gold's Venice and I'm in the middle. It was September and everybody was getting ready for the Olympia. And I had to take my shirt off so they could take a picture. I'm like, can't we do this in a private room? They're like, nope. So I'm all white and hairy and fat.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's great. So it's interesting you bring up epigenetics. And I feel like there's nothing worse than someone with potential with the genetics that don't realize the epigenetics.
Right.
You know, you meet these athletes that are, or these men and women who have everything going for them, and they just fall down a path of laziness and fall down. And then they come back at 50 and they look at guys like yourself and myself, frankly, and they say, how come you have it? How come you get that? And it's not the genetics. It's the discipline. It's waking up in the morning and eating the right breakfast. You know, every day I get the salt water in, I put in the coconut oil, I go for the walk. It's not hard. I love it. I know you love it.
Yeah.
I mean, how much love is walking in your garage and having a gym like this? I mean, the positive feedback you get, Clark, how much love do you have for this?
I absolutely feel so blessed and so privileged to be in this position because when my wife, you just had the opportunity to meet my wife, we've been married for 33 years. When we were a young married couple, I wanted to move back to Ohio because there was a house that was set up like this. It makes me want to cry thinking about it because I was like, it was $60,000. I'll never forget it. The garage was full, the basement was full, and she, growing up in Southern California, was like, no way I can come back here because it was winter when we went and visited. But I was like, this is what I want. And piece by piece, little by little, I started to assemble what is now, I think, is one of the best home gyms that I've ever seen. Not just because of what I have, but the way it's situated. That's like the pit at Venice Beach, and it's outside. And as a former strength coach, there was a school here, St. Catherine's University, and during COVID, the basketball players had no place to go. Yeah. They came here. I said,
what a gift.
Just put everything back where it was when you're done, and it's yours. So this is open to anyone who wants to come here. And when you said, hey man, I'm in town, I want to come down, I was like, we're gonna make it happen. Yeah. Because this is what I love, man, and I love sharing it with people. I'm privileged to be able to share it with you here on Michael's video, to just be an encouragement, right? To be an encouragement to you to say, whatever you're dreaming of is possible. And whatever you want physically is manageable, and it's just simply a matter of taking action, like you said, and being consistent with it, and not quitting or giving up. Because we both live in a world where we coach men, and we hear these things that are limiting thoughts and conversations that we have with ourselves, that we're like, man, it's not as hard as you've made it out to be. You know?
Amen.
There's stories behind all these.
Oh my goodness.
So O'Hearn,
big Mike up there.
Yeah, he showed up an hour and a half late for the shoot. We're all waiting for him, and he shows up and still had to tan when he showed up. So that was interesting. This one, they painted me gold. Took them a couple hours to paint me gold. This one, they changed the clothes on me. I wasn't even wearing these clothes. They put different shorts on me.
Airbrushed them in.
That's me and my wife's first cover together.
Right here? Oh, that's awesome.
Right here, this is a funny story. I was at a trade show, like the Fit Expo, and I'm coming back, I'm sitting on the airplane, I'm on the aisle, there's a guy in the middle and a girl on the window. So we all start talking, and I said, yeah, I'm doing a photo shoot on Monday. She's like, oh, really? I'm doing a photo shoot on Monday. What are you shooting? I said, well, I'm shooting a cover of Muscle and Fitness. She's like, I'm shooting a cover of Muscle and Fitness. So we were next to each other on the airplane, and boom, we showed up there. This is my first Muscle and Fitness.
You know, it's kind of interesting with, you know, being in this business and in this model business and having a spouse who was in it as well, and then to also have a 32 plus year marriage. And, you know, a lot of anxieties come in marriages with that type of stuff. And, just having the security and the ability to be faithful, and you
Yeah.
know, those are huge things. That why you guys are such a successful marriage today.
I couldn't imagine being married to me. I mean, I've been all over the world with the most beautiful women, but I mean, look at my wife. This is her and her right there. You don't get much better than that.
No, you did well.
This is the most recent cover right here, Pushing 60. That was my idea to do the Pushing 60 thing. And there's a big, me pushing a big 60 on the inside, a big double.
If anybody has questions or fears of getting started, just eliminate them. Reach out to guys like Clark, reach out to me, reach out to anybody. There's so many resources today to learn about fitness and nutrition that we didn't have in the 80s and 90s. And all of us guys who are, you know, getting this mid-century mark, you know, 40s to 60s, it's not over, man. It is time to actually just go find the knowledge, find the inspiration in yourself, right? And granted, you and I have been doing this for a long time, and it's time over tension, and that's why we've created these physiques. But I've worked with guys, and you have too, that in 6 months, 9 months, 1 year, the transition from their bodies from point A to point B, life-changing.
Yeah.
And it's not just the superficial side. So one thing I did with this channel is, yes, I'm trying to hook it with being in the best shape I can possible, and that gets people to watch. But the secondary goal, and probably the more important goal, is to help people change their lives. Because being physically fit is one thing that we can control in our lives that can bring all the rest, our marriage, our relationships, our business, our finances. It can help all of it reach the top because we can control it, and it proves to us how we can control it.
Fitness is the gateway to the life that you want, is really what Michael just said.
Absolutely.
And referring what you said a little bit ago, is it's not the end, it's the beginning. Honestly, if you're 50-something years old, you've done all the work, you've supported your family, you've put yourself on the back burner. So now is truly the beginning of what could potentially be the rest of your life. And I have on my Jeep, it says, "Get busy living" on the back. There are so many people who don't understand that, and it was stolen directly from Shawshank Redemption. The rest of it is, or "Get busy dying." And that's what most people are doing right now, is they're busy getting busy dying because they've justified, I work 12 hours a day because I'm supporting my family. Listen, that's noble. That's all what you're supposed to do. But there's a point of diminishing returns where you become invaluable to the people in your circle of influence that you're responsible for, that are depending on you to be fit and healthy and energetic and vibrant and confident more than anything else. Mm-hmm. So the amount of men that I've coached has been thousands, literally, and it's not 9 months. Look, it could be shorter than that, because I realize when someone hears 6 months, 9 months, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't." You can instantly, within seconds, change the way you exist on this planet if you're thoughtful simply about how you breathe, right? And how you wake up and show up every single day. So what I teach is 5 principles. Mm-hmm. Mindset, meals, movement, community, supplementation, in that order, because everyone will say, "What's the most important thing?" Everyone will say nutrition. It's not nutrition, because if your mind is not set to eat the way you've been taught to eat, you're not going to do it for the rest of your life, because it's not about 6 weeks, 12 weeks. It's not about the high school reunion. It's not about taking a photo for whatever. It's about you adjusting your lifestyle accordingly to live in your healthiest body, not your rippedest body, but your healthiest body. So this evolution photo back here, everybody's capable of going from your fattest, out of shape version to your most in shape version of yourself. And it's a process of change. And if anyone's wondering, this was shot in order. It wasn't photoshopped. If you've seen this ad that I was famous for back in the 90s, that's all real. And
those 5 principles, and I'm going to steal those from you, Clark, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
And teach those to as many of the folks that I can help. And you know, we're both. I just from the bottom of my heart, and hopefully the audience gets a chance to follow Clark Bartram on all of his social media and channels, and he's got great supplement lines, which we'll look at those later, and fitness programs, and go ahead and tell them other ways to reach you.
Just, I'm easy to find. So if you want the information, you're going to find it. I'm not holding people's hand and dragging you to the well. You need to come to the well yourself, and it will be full. That's one of my machines right there, letting out hot air, kind of like we're doing right now, right? We sometimes get on soapboxes and get excited, but look, you would rather have guys like us in your corner than maybe your buddies or even some family members trying to hold you back. Because here's the truth, and you've seen this as much as I have. Misery loves company. It's true. But there are also those same people, whether they're friends or family members, who want you to succeed because they want to see an example of what is possible. So if you're 50-something years old and you're not in your greatest shape and you have people around you that are trying to get you to drink beer and hold you back, it's because they want you to stay there because they're afraid to lose you if you go to the other side. And being fit and healthy, they're going to think you're going to get an attitude. But look, just be you, be your healthiest version of you, and you're going to bring people along because you're responsible for your circle of influence. You know, I think what we should do as this video plays out, it's going to be a long video, and you know, if you can't watch it till the end, you're not really that interested, but I think we should go eat and talk about food, give them a tour of the gym, and just follow along with the nutrition part, the conversation, and see the whole picture of what is necessary to kind of move into this new way of living, because that's really what it is. And I'm not trying to freak you out, but it's true. It's a lifestyle. Here's my favorite cover over here.
All right.
Of all the covers I've done, this one here is my daughter.
Oh, precious, man.
So I was 45, she was 17, she's now 30, I'm now 58. But I remember pulling out of this driveway and she was sleeping in the back of the car on the way to go to Michael Nevy's studio to shoot this. So this is my son when he was just coming up as a little quarterback, and then he just got his AC blown out playing a semi-pro game a couple weeks ago. So Iron Dad, how Clark Bartram forges family and physique.
Oh, I love
it.
You,
I would never let Iron Man Photoshop me.
Yeah.
I would always tell them, do not Photoshop my photos. So Michael Nevy was like, all right.
that is the epitome, Clark, of the name, Hero Dad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my son and I work out together religiously. He's 14 now and 6'4". Just kid's just a giant, but it's the sweetest soul ever. But I'll show up at the gym sometimes, and his junior high is right across the street, and he'll be in there with his little buddies, just doing curls, and it just, my heart melts. It's
what it's all about.
It is so, you know, my dad taught me to lift weights when I was 10, 11, 12, and that's the one thing that he and I still have that is, you know, we talk about Arnold and we talk about the 70s, and it's just, I can see this, something in the back of him brighten up.
See, that's
in those
huge,
days,
man.
yeah.
My dad taught me how to drink beers in a freaking American Legion.
Well, and mine didn't teach me a lot of other great things, but it is a lifestyle, Clark, and it's one that I've seen my friends who weren't living this lifestyle now coming to this lifestyle, and I want to give it to them. I don't want to charge anybody for helping my buddies out. I want to tell them, I send them workouts, but I don't want to drag them to the well.
Yeah.
And once they're released after a few weeks, now it's just check-ins.
Okay.
How was your workout, buddy?
So
now they're a year later bragging to me about their workouts.
Right.
And they're 50, and they're loving their lives.
Right. But let me encourage you in that.
Okay, please.
Stop giving it away.
Yeah.
Don't give it away.
Yeah.
I gave it away for years, and the reality is, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, don't throw your pearl before swine. You're going to give away so much good information to people who are not ready to take advantage of it because they got no skin in the game.
Yeah.
And you're going to lose people, and that's going to tug on your heartstrings because you're that guy.
Yeah.
Like me, you're passionate about it. You want to help everybody. You can't do that because you have to place value on what you do because you've spent a lot of time and energy learning what you know and applying it to your own life to be the example and the hook. And then the people who come along that say, bro, but I'm your friend, so what? You know what I mean? Isn't it not worth $400 to get this program that could change your life? Because you're going to spend pay me now or pay me later. George Foreman said that in the muffler commercial. You're going to pay the doctor for a prescription. You're going to pay the doctor for a bad report. You're going to pay somebody somewhere. Why not be proactive? So if you're one of Michael's friends, don't ask him for it for free. Pay this man for what he does. I know this better than anyone on planet Earth because I've done it forever. And my wife, who knew better than to walk out here in the middle of this video, by the way, has told me forever, don't give it away, you know? And it took me forever to listen to her, so.
I appreciate that advice.
Yeah, it's true.
Just find your tribe, help you, all of you raise up together, love yourself. You know, that's the main thing, is you gotta love yourself enough to do this. And drinking 6 beers on every Friday night is not really loving yourself. Doing, you know, whatever you're doing to skip the gym because you're too tired is not loving yourself. It's getting up and being daily and consistent and having friends that do it too, and spouses, and bring it all up. Everybody needs this. Everybody wants this. Just find guys like Clark, and my stuff, and we'll help encourage you guys. But again, you got to come to the well. We're going to put it all out there, and it's going to be honest. There's not going to be any bullshit.
Not for me.
No fake anything. We're going to go through all things in life, and to get here, you need honest, real information, and that's my mission. And I know it's yours. I know you live it, and I'm blessed for this opportunity. We're all blessed to have a chance to see what we're going to see today. So, thanks, brother.
We could keep going, but we're gonna stop. Let's take a little gym tour.
All right, brother. Oh, here it is, fellas. This is the epitome of a bodybuilder's backyard. I mean, if you could have a dream scenario, and letting him, and just the fact that you're getting that college out here when they want to do it, or anybody, or
I've had professional athletes. There's been more puking right here in this corner. I promise you, so many people have puked right there because we get after. We had the driveway crew is what we called it, where just a bunch of guys would show up. We had NFL guys all the way to Pop Warner kids, and we used the driveway and all these different things. So over the years, I've collected all these great. You can't miss my house.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the only one with a gym in it. You have the Assault Fitness Air Runner, and everyone asks me what happens when it's raining. I cover this stuff.
Yeah.
And the other stuff that doesn't need covered, it doesn't matter. 2 assault bikes. Got these MX Select.
Oh, those are great.
Dumbbells, they're barbells. It's a Havoc mass. Toys to play on. And it's just wild boxes, these sleds. A lot of this stuff is one-off. This is a one-off. Nobody has this.
Custom built.
Yeah, the bullfrog thing is something else.
You've designed your life well, my man. All my Idaho buddies will like this one. There it is right there. Get busy living.
Here you got all the cardio, rower, Stairmaster, elliptical. This equipment here, you've seen this in college strength before. Most. This you only see really in the NFL.
Kaiser air stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Love that stuff.
These are great. The MX Select dumbbells. They're just
nice room savers.
Yep. This I built in China years ago. This is a one-off. This had you put your iPod on it.
Oh, nice.
It would show you how to work out. That never made it to market.
You have an app yet, Clark?
I do.
Nice. Apps are great, guys. Just getting, finding workouts that you want to follow along with, that you can customize. It's the information's out there. Again, like when Clark and I started this back in the whenever it was 80s.
Yeah.
There weren't apps, and there weren't even apps 10 years ago. And now that stuff's it's there for us. So take advantage of it.
Absolutely.